Hi, I'm Charlie. On YouTube, I go by Champutee. I have always been a huge gamer, but at the beginning of 2023, I lost my arm. And besides maybe a few examples, video game controllers have been designed for two-handed use for decades. So months went by, I tried different gizmos and gadgets, I even had freshman engineering students take a crack at it. But nothing felt the same, until I stumbled upon this, the Azron Cyro. This is how I play most of the games that I play. I also use this 3D printed thing to play certain games on Switch. And a year ago, I went to an arcade to see which games were the most playable for me. Check it out. I'm here at the Galloping Ghost Arcade, the biggest arcade in the world. I'm going to be trying out a bunch of games and seeing which ones are the most accessible to me. I've always loved Galloping Ghost. I went here when I was a little two-armed boy. This is my first time going since becoming one-armed. Let me introduce you to my favorite arcade game in the world.
The first Monkey Fighter.
This game is rad. Basically, it's a glorified whack-a-mole with buttons and a screen and a JoJo-esque art style. Ow. 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 Ow! Okay. Yeah, it's been about a year and a half since my amputation, but my stub is still really sensitive. I'm legit sweating.
This is just whack-a-mole, you're so right.
It's awesome. I love it so much. Who got the higher score, though? Let's see. Oh, no, you did get higher points than me. Wow, who could have expected it? Next game, House of the Dead. This game is completely one-handed, so I had absolutely no issues playing it. Just a handgun and a trigger. To reload, you just shoot off the screen. I can still shoot zombies. I guess I'll put these games in a tier list for how accessible they are to me. So, first Funky Fighter, C. I still had a lot of fun with it, though. And House of the Dead, S. Now let's play a classic, Dig Dug. A lot of arcade games have a similar control setup. A joystick and buttons, usually one or two. Obviously, the original intention designing these games was for one hand to be used for the joystick and the other for the buttons. But for Dig Dug, I used one hand. I didn't even use my stub. I used my thumb and finger for the joystick and my pinky when I needed to use the pump. I'm good at Dig Dug. Yeah, I wasn't good, but I could play it. B tier. Alright guys, I've seen all your comments suggesting that I should play fighting games, so your wish is my command. Karate Champ! In this game, each player has two joysticks, one for moving and the other for attacking. And instead of each player having health, the game is separated into rounds, where the first player to hit the other just once wins that round.
Half point.
No!
Stop.
You won again.
I won with my 200 points.
Half point.
I got you. Yay.
Sick and twisted. Yippee!
Yeah, at first I was using my stub to control the right one, but then I switched to just my hand and it actually became way easier. Yo! Gotcha.
Half point.
I figured out the meta, dude.
You did. I'm sucking.
Good.
Gotcha.
How does this thing work? What is going on?
I'm just too good for you. Isn't this game great? They should rename this game to Karate Champutee. The control setup isn't the most accessible, but I don't think more accessibility would give me more of an advantage. So, S tier.
Half point.
Fuck you. Next up is another game I haven't heard of, Cosmic Cruiser. The control setup of this one is a joystick to move with a trigger on it to shoot and a dial to aim. So I had to switch between the two, sometimes in quick succession. I was able to play some of the game, but this is one of the least accessible games that I tried out. How do I use one arm to move a joystick, press a button on said joystick, while simultaneously moving a dial on the other side? F tier. Asteroids! No joystick in this game, just 5 buttons arranged in a line like this. Rotate left, rotate right, hyperspace, thrust, and fire. Oh god, that is... Whoa, that is hard. That is impossible. The arrangement of the buttons meant that I had to stretch my hand across them or awkwardly just switch between them. And at this point, I decided to just stop using my stub because it hurt too much. I give up. I had a lot of trouble with this game, but it very easily could have been accessible to me. There are 5 buttons, but what if they were placed like this instead? It's a small change, but I'd be able to press all the buttons with one hand, one finger for each button. And other people could still play with 2 hands if they want, or just put a joystick in there. Asteroids? Nah, D. Not throwing shade though, it was made in 1979, before disabled people were invented. Up next, another classic space shooter, Sinistar. This game has a joystick, but the controls were still not the best for me. The fire and Cinnabomb buttons were pretty far from the joystick, so again I had to stretch my hand uncomfortably to reach everything. Here, let me fix it. Sinistar gets a C for C? Easy fix.
I am Sinistar.
Next, another one of my favorites, Smash TV. This is another one where each player has two joysticks, like Karate Champ. But the joysticks are just a little further apart in this one, which makes the game a lot harder to play. This game is another C.
Big money!
Next up, the original Mario Brothers.
You can't even jump on turtles in this game.
Oh no!
Oh my god, are you kidding me? What do we have to do?
I don't know.
No, we just have to get rid of the turtle shells. We have to jump above them, and then we have to kick them.
Mario game over.
Oh my god, we suck at this.
I'm still alive. Speak for yourself. I don't actually know what I'm doing though. I gotta be real.
This game was playable, just a joystick and a button. Chloe and I both just sucked. A tier. But you haven't seen nothing yet. Picture that I'm rubbing my hands together deviously. Now these Mario Brothers are super.
Aw, dang it!
Yeah, right next to the Mario Brothers is basically just a port of Super Mario Brothers for the NES. In this one, there's a joystick and two buttons.
Oh no. I'm good.
At first I was sucking, Chloe was getting ahead of me. Then, I figured it out, and this game became perfectly accessible to me.
Dude, I figured out the control setup, dude. I just put my palm on the joystick. Yo!
Arguably, Mario Brothers is more accessible control-wise because it's one less button, but I'm gonna give Super Mario Brothers an S tier because it's an infinitely better game and I had way more fun playing it. Pong. I don't care what anybody says, this game is still fun. And Galloping Ghost has their own branded Pong machine, which is pretty cool. It's completely accessible too, just one dial.
Oh, damn.
I'm so good at Pong. This is the skill that I've been waiting for.
You're fucking crushing me, dude.
Chloe beat me 11-7, but unlike First Funky Fighter, I know it had absolutely nothing to do with me having one arm. I just suck at Pong, or Chloe's good, or both. I don't know. S tier. Next game.
Wanna play Ninja Clowns?
Ninja Clowns? Yo, I want to play Ninja Clowns.
The name was great, we couldn't resist. This game's a beat 'em up. There's one joystick and 3 buttons.
We don't really look like ninjas. This game should just be called Clowns.
But they're fighting.
Neither of us play beat 'em ups though, so...
I don't know, I'm just button mashing now.
I'm always kind of wondering.
I was able to press all the buttons, I was just going, which is probably what it would have been doing if I had 2 arms. Ninja Clowns gets a B. Also on closer inspection, I think Dig Dug deserves an A. Next up is Quake Arcade Tournament Edition. I actually really like Quake. It's a fun shooter with a Lovecraftian horror art style and music by the 9 Inch Nails. I didn't get to play Half-Life 2 Survivor, but this is pretty close, so I was really excited when I saw it. This is what the controls look like.
That's too many buttons, dude.
7 buttons and one of those roller ball things. Clearly it's made for your left hand to go here and your right hand to go on the ball with your thumb on the attack button. But if I use my stub, I can't press that button. I have to shimmy my hand over here every time I want to shoot my gun.
Yeah, that's too much.
Quake is very complex for an arcade game. It's first person in a 3D environment, so I get that it's not very accessible to me. I can play it at home, but I need to use my Azeron Cyro. They could have made it more accessible to me, but how far can you do that until it's inaccessible to the general public? I don't know. This gets an F, but no shade. Alright, final arcade game. What do you think it's gonna be? Pac-Man? This guy right here? No, just a joystick, dude. That's accessible. S tier. Cubert? Also a joystick. S. The last one is going to be a fighting game. The First Funky Fighter, that is. Oh, what? It's in the name. Look at me there, going absolutely crazy on those buttons. Chloe's turn. And guys, you won't believe this. I actually beat her. In this game where having both your arms gives you a big advantage, I actually prevailed.
Fuck.
It was close though.
Did you actually believe me? I did get a higher score than I did before, so that's something, I guess. And that was the end of our time at Galloping Ghost. Regardless of my ability to play a lot of these games, I still had a lot of fun. My first video was about how I figured out how to play mainstream games on console and PC, and that was a long, difficult, and frustrating process. I thought it would feel similar for arcade games, but it really didn't. There were a lot of games that I could very easily play, or at very least get used to playing. Some games were more difficult, some were practically impossible, but I was still having fun. What's funny is that a lot of these accessibility issues that I faced could be fixed very easily by just changing the arrangement of the buttons or moving things a little closer. Some of you might be thinking, why didn't you just bring your prosthetic arm? Well, I explained in that video that Steven is very clunky, heavy, and limited. Steven might have helped here and there, but I know generally he would have been a hindrance. But what's the point of this video? To shame video game companies from the 70s for not thinking of one-handed people? No. Quite the opposite, actually. My point is, unless you're playing Counter-Strike, or League of Legends, or Overwatch, or Rocket League, or Valorant, I could go on. Games are supposed to be fun, and people with all different abilities deserve to have fun, even if they suck. So that was fun, right? Let me leave you all with some of my general thoughts about video game accessibility. 1. Customizability is everything. Everyone has their own needs. I personally need all my controls to be close together and left-hand compatible, but there is no one-size-fits-all solution. This goes for software as well. Why is the ability to change key bindings a staple in PC games, but is hard to come by in console games? Let me at least change what my buttons do so I can play comfortably. 2. Keep in mind the types of games that people like to play. I've gotten comments from people that say that I could more easily play turn-based RPGs with one arm, but I don't personally care for turn-based RPGs. So yeah, the Xbox Adaptive Controller helped me play Hollow Knight while I was in the hospital. Yo, I'm playing Hollow Knight. Actually playing Hollow Knight. Dude, isn't that rad, dude? Dude. Yeah, give the camera to me. Yeah. But it took about a year before I could play Half-Life 2 again. Don't just think about the bare essentials for gaming with a disability. Dig deeper. What do they really want to play? And 3, take some notes for future disabled gamers. Have a big book of case studies if you have to. If occupational therapists knew what worked for certain people with certain disabilities with certain games in the past, it would save a lot of people the emotional torment. I want to play Portal 2 for the millionth time. That's all I have to say. Thank you.